Am I the a-hole for calling CPS on my family and asking to be removed from our house? My parents have 4 kids. There's me, 16 male, and I'm the oldest, and then I have 2 younger sisters, 13 and 10, and a younger brother, 12. Our dad drinks a lot. He's had issues with alcohol for as long as I can remember. He doesn't work, doesn't do anything around the house, never wants to talk to any of us, and that leaves it all on mom. Except my mom puts a lot of it on me. For a long time I did it willingly, and I wanted to help keep us together. But I started to feel resentful in the last 2 years, and then I realized if I wanted a better life, I needed out, and I needed to stop things staying the same. My siblings have no expectation to help. My mom said there can be too many people helping, and it needs to be just me. So I was making after-school snacks and getting dinner ready for when mom got home. I was left in charge if my mom wasn't home for any reason, even if dad was there, because we never knew when he'd just get up and go to the bar. I had to make sure homework was done before mom got home, and I had to forge her signature on stuff, with mom's permission, because she wanted to come home and relax after a long day at work. My mom left me in charge of paying the bills online too. She had a checklist for me, and once a month I had to go through the list and pay them all off. If we didn't have enough, I needed to get my siblings and go to the bank and deposit more money in my parents' account. Sometimes that meant looking for dad's wallet and taking money from him, and other times it meant taking from my minimal savings to use that. I have no savings left because of it. On weekends, I still got put in charge of feeding my siblings. Sometimes my parents too. I found out my mom was eating out frequently on weekends while running errands, and that makes me mad because we struggled with money a lot, and we had more than I realized. She just used it to spoil herself. The other thing was she'd bring home snacks for my siblings, but wouldn't bring me anything. She was also giving them money behind my back, and again, nothing for me. Then my siblings wanted to do more stuff, and mom slowly started putting the responsibility of walking them to those places on me. She had a car, but she'd tell me she needed a break and stuff. There were nights she'd go out with her friends too, and some nights she didn't even come home or got back at 5 a.m. But if I asked for permission to sleep at a friend's house or see a movie with my friend, she'd tell me we didn't have the money and she couldn't be without me. My siblings got to hang out with their friends if they wanted, but my mom always had excuses for why I couldn't. She started going out more frequently, and sometimes with my dad. I tried talking to my mom, but she didn't care about giving me time off. All she'd talk about was how hard she worked for us. And she'd tell me I was young and didn't get stressed as much or need breaks like someone older. My grades started slipping this year. It was too much for me to keep up with, and mom got an email about it, and she refused to speak to my guidance counselor about it. The guidance counselor set up a meeting. She didn't say anything to me. I was told by my guidance counselor in November about it. I asked mom why, and she said the reality is I might need to drop out anyway. So why would she waste her time? I sat on that for a few weeks, and then I spoke to my school about everything. My guidance counselor called CPS, and so did one of my teachers. But then I called and told them everything, and I talked about there not being enough food in the house, because at that point there wasn't, and how we didn't even have money in our school lunch accounts. Someone from CPS came, and I begged them to take me. There were several visits before I was actually removed. My siblings weren't, because mom put money in their accounts after the initial CPS visit, and she explained that she had called their schools before and had allowed the account to overdraw, and she paid it off after a few weeks. CPS is still involved, but I'm staying with a family member. CPS are trying to reunite me, but I have said I don't want to go back. On top of all the stuff with my parents, my siblings have turned into really shifty people who don't care about me. Guess our parents thought them that, but I don't feel the need to save them anymore, or even care if they get put through what I was. At the start of the month, my mom and siblings figured out I was the one who called. Some of the details brought up finally connected in their heads, and they're mad at me. Mom said I was doing better than a lot of kids, and my actions came across as being those of a spoiled brat. She told me the fact I asked to be removed spoke about what my character is and how easy I find it to abandon my family. Am I the a-hole?